Well, how you going, everyone? Josh the Collector Guy. Hope you all had an awesome week yet again this week, ladies and gentlemen. As I always say, hope you're able to have a little bit of a hunt here and there at the flea markets, at the shops, swap meet, whatever. Hope you're able to find some awesome cars for your collections, everyone. Hope you had an awesome week. Well, these are my finds for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Not a lot this week, but I'm sure I'll jabber on for 10 or 12 minutes, as I always do. Got some eBay finds just here. Got the two Redlines for the week. Very awesome ones indeed. I'll share them a little bit later in the vid. Awesome high Corvette van. Pretty good card as well. What could this one be though? All I can tell you is she is one of my all-time favourite cars to collect from Hot Wheels. She is one of my holy grails. I'm so glad to have her in the collection now. But we'll show you that one at the end of the vid, everyone. Hope you stick around for that. Not sure if I mentioned it, but got some flea market finds just here. Some awesome ones in the mix here. But first off, we'll start off with old Dale Earnhardt Jr. here. He wasn't really a find this week, more of a find up in one of Dad's cupboards. Dad actually was looking through his cars. He was sorting them out, trying to put it all in order more or less, and he found he had a double of Dale Jr. and he opened it for me because he knows I like collecting my loose NASCAR cars, which are just up there. Oh, there's old Boogity Darryl Waltrip and old Jeff Gorvette, so he'll probably go somewhere up there with them. So pretty cool. Glad Dad found one of them for me because I know I really wanted a loose one of this. So very cool. Love his old tampos of his more earlier race years. So very cool. Glad Dad found that for me. We'll get to the flea market finds now. We'll start off with this one just here, the old Lotus 78 Ford. Back in the Formula 1 days, I believe Mario Andretti actually piloted this car for a little bit. It's a Tomica, of course, if you didn't see that. It's powered by a Ford Cosworth engine, which is pretty cool, back in the good old days of Formula 1 racing. And old John Player special. John Player was actually cigarette manufacturing company back in the day. They're quite old. I believe they're they're pretty old. That's all I can say. I didn't really catch all that information. Really nice looking old Formula 1 racer. I've actually seen this as well on TV, and I think it was in a little documentary about Formula 1 racing. It was very cool. Love the old Formula 1 style cars and everything. And pretty interesting that John Andretti actually drove a Formula 1 car. I thought he was all into the Indy cars, but it seems like he had quite a decorated racing career all around the world. So very cool. Quite unusual though that a Tomica would be a plastic base though, but she's pretty old. When you see made in Japan, you know you got an old Tomica in my opinion, because it's all made in China these days, I believe. So very cool. Glad to find another Tomica to the collection. Haven't bought one for quite a while, or even found any, to be honest. So, and I love the old vintage racing stuff. You can't go without that. Old little Chevy Citation here. Unfortunately, I've already got it, but the actually no, I don't, because I don't have the busted window variation on this one. As you can see, someone roundhouse kicked the window in or something like that. I don't know. She was pretty cheap anyway. I couldn't resist, and I couldn't leave a little Chevy there, could I? So that one's not too bad. That'd look good in a little setup of a scene or whatever, like in a junkyard or something. Very cool. Oh, very tough looking Chevelle here. I might do a wheel swap on her at a later stage. Not sure if this is the Fast and the Furious one. I have no idea. It was in a bunch of loose cars I picked up for pretty cheap. Very tough indeed. Can't wait to whack a set of real riders on her. Got the old Chevy Lumina van. Love these things. This brings me back to when I was a kid, these things. Not that I don't think I had many of these, or if not any in the collection, but it's so reminiscent of the 90s, you can tell. Look at that. It's such an unusual space age design. Same with the Tampo. There is a variation of these getting around though without the black pillar Tampo there, so I think that one's a little bit more expensive than this one. I think this one's just the basic sort of one, but being me, I couldn't resist it being a Chevy, of course, and being a Chevy Lumina. I love them. Love the cars as well. Love the old NASCAR ones. And got another Matchbox Corvette. She's made in China. I think she might be at least from the 90s or 2000s. I could be wrong, but very cool. Glad to add another Matchbox Corvette to the collection. I've got a good little collection of Matchbox Corvettes now. And if you can't tell, I absolutely adore my Chevys and Corvettes. Very nice indeed. And little phone ring in the background there. Got a little motorbike for Dad. I think it's missing something on the front there, unfortunately, but nevertheless, still pretty cool. I reckon I got it for pretty cheap. One of the old made in England ones, the old Lesnies. Very cool, very nice. Not like the Rumblers. It's certainly a lot different to the Rumblers. And I think this had to be the Flea Market steal for the week. This one, the old Battle Kings by Matchbox. Never heard of this series before. How tough is that army vehicle? I love these vehicles, the way they look, the half tracks. Excuse me if I jumbled up my words. I'm very surprised to see the Caterpillars all still there, all in working order. The unfortunate thing, he's lost his head, so poor fellow, he lost him in battle, but very cool indeed. Absolutely awesome vehicle, absolutely tough as. Hot Wheels actually did a couple of these as well back in the day, back in the 70s, 80s, and they also released one in the 90s, I believe. It was white with blue on it. Smaller scale, of course, but always love these old Matchbox Super Kings, Battle Kings, or whatever they made. As I just said, I never heard of Battle Kings before, but I'll certainly be on the lookout for some more now. Absolutely awesome. Very cool, tough as looking military vehicle. Probably the best things about the wars and everything, all the military vehicles the countries seem to make up. That's my opinion anyway. War's not really a good thing, to be honest, though, but the vehicles are pretty awesome. Now we'll get to the Redlines, I guess. The Redlines for the week. Got the old top eliminator here, the old Flying Colours one. I believe she is from 74. Now, mint condition of this vehicle in my Tom Mart's book, around the $100 it reckons. These days it could be wrong, could have gone up, could have gone down a little bit, but I'm glad to have a little example of it too. And being a drag car, very cool, because I went to the drag racing over the weekend, the old Winter Nationals here in Queensland, Australia, at Willowbank Raceway. Unfortunately, the body detaches from the chassis, but that doesn't really matter to me. I've got an example of her, and she's got a bit of character to her. That's what I love about the old Hot Wheels. And got the old twin mill here in chrome. I've actually never seen a chrome twin mill before, so that one's very cool with the old tiki sort of tampo. I've got an orange one of this. I think the tampo's a little bit better on it, but still very cool. I got these for pretty cheap, even though postage was a bit silly, but nevertheless, glad to add these two Redlines to the ever-growing collection and Redline collection. And last but not least, these two, the old High Rakers Vet Van. Actually have a loose one I'll just get to my crash into the desk. This one up there. Glad to have a carded one now on the High Rakers card and unpunched as well. Pretty good condition card as well. Very good. And the old back there with the other High Rakers, the old Vet, 3-window 34. And the turbo wedge, don't see too much of that around. Looks like they missed out on the spoiler in the illustration there, but very, very cool. Very nice. Love the old card art with a big tough as Vet there. Absolutely love it. One of my favourite castings as well, the old Vet Van. I think I've got that many castings I love. It's starting to become a little bit ridiculous. Now this one, I bet you've all been wondering, what could this model be? Well, as I said, she's one of my favourites. She's a Hot Wheels truck, obviously you've probably guessed it by now. Let's have a look. Oh yes. Oh yes, I certainly found the Power Player in red with a white hubs in the rear rider. So very, very cool. Glad to have this little beauty in the collection now. Absolutely awesome. She has been on my most wanted list for quite a while now. I remember searching on eBay a couple of times, probably once every week or so, always typing out. Came across her, had to bid for her. I reckon I got her for a pretty good price. And look at the card, absolutely absolutely awesome. It's like she was bought back in the 80s and put away for all these years, because there's not one imperfection on it at all. Even the blister's still pretty much brand new. Guarantee a lot of the Hot Wheels in the shops these days don't have blisters this clean, or even cards this clean. Oh, you've already looked at the back. I don't know why I'd show you that again. And look at the price, 96 cents. What an absolute bargain. The price is blown out of proportion for one of these things now. So glad to have her in the collection. One of my favourite trucks. The old Byway Man, Power Plow, Super Scraper, whatever they named her. One of my most favourite trucks. I know I keep mentioning that. Actually got the Blackwall version on my General Motors Vintage Hot Wheels shelf. She's unfortunately missing a bull bar, but still pretty cool. These aren't very easy to find. They're not really an easy truck to find to begin with, in any variation in my opinion, but still very awesome. Glad to add her to the collection. She'll be certainly displayed with pride on one of my shelves. Well, that's the haul for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed my little bit of a rant I always seem to have in the vids. Hope it was a little bit informative for you. Hope you learnt something new, I guess. Just like all of you guys out there always seem to, guys and girls as well, always seem to learn something new in each of your vids as well. Thank you very much for watching. To the subscribers, even if you're passing by, thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, whatever you do. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for the support. Well, that's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, as always, everyone, happy hunting. Keep the hobby strong. See you later, everyone. Have an awesome week.